Howdy, Space Rangers, Captain Phoenix here. Hey, what are you doing here? For sure, I don't know you. Anyway, forget you just saw that. This is totally my footage. Liar. Sell out. Rip off. Okay, shut up. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna make this review quick. So today I'm gonna be doing another Ninjago review. You promised no more. I know I did, but I have to talk about it. So please forgive me. You have one chance. So, if you remember in my ranking in Ninjago season review, I told you that season 12 was airing. Well, season 12 just wrapped up. I think, was it last week? Maybe it wasn't fully last week, a few days ago for sure. Give me a second. Yeah, so it turns out it was about a week ago when the season ended. So, I've seen the season. I haven't given my thoughts on it, or at least I kept my thoughts to myself because I wanted to air them out for the first time in front of my audience. I wanted to air out my thoughts while giving the video. And one of the reasons why I haven't been able to air out my thoughts is because I found this season to be confusing. It is one of the most confusing seasons I have ever tried to translate into thoughts. Where do I start? Let's start with what I didn't like, because in honesty, I really didn't hate this season. It's a really good season. So let me talk about what I didn't like first. The pacing. It is all over the place, especially for the first half of the season. It moves too fast. And not like Rise of Skywalker or Trolls World Tour fast, where you can understand why it's fast. Here it's just fast. We miss everything. We don't see the ninja getting new suits. We just get into the game so quickly. No backstory and anything. And even later on in the season, the episodes now get a bit slow. It's not like they're filler episodes. It's just that they get really slow. On top of that, what's this? The Zane and Pixel moments again really slow. It's like in the first half of the season, it's too fast. Then in the second half, it's too slow. It's the pacing for this season is way off, and it's annoying how it is. I hate this season. I hate this. I hate the pacing for the season. It is easily the worst paced Ninjago season I've seen, even worse than 11, and that had a buttload of filler episodes, and everything was so slow. But at the very least, it stuck to one thing. That leads me into what else do I not like about it? I guess I can say some of the character arcs were a bit rushed. This is Jay's season again, which is weird. How does Jay have two but Cole doesn't even have one? Don't even get me started on how Kai has 1.5, Lloyd has three. It's a mess. Why are you not giving the proper seasons to the right people? Okay, let me start off whatever. Okay, let me try and be open as I can with this. So, to all of you who don't know, this is Ninjago season 12. This season is called Prime Empire, and it's the 12th season in this line for all those people who haven't heard Ninjago. But if you haven't heard of Ninjago, I don't even know why I'm explaining this to you. You should know at this point that this video isn't for you. Anyways, I'll continue with my review of Prime Empire. What else did I not like? Again, the pacing was a huge blunder for me. I really did not like it. Um, was that the only problem I had? Yeah, and the way it ended was just it really didn't have an easy way to end. It just sort of ended. To me, it was so sudden. Again, I feel like this season could have been better, and I feel like it would have been a really great season if it weren't for the pacing. The pacing really holds this thing back from being one of my top five seasons. Otherwise, I feel like it's really good, just not my top five because of the goddamn pacing. But now let's start talking about the good things. But for one, the animation. Aside from season 6 and 8, this is one of the best Ninjago seasons. This is one of the best animated Ninjago season. It looks so visually nice, way better than that train wreck that was season 11. Am I right, guys? And in all honesty, I really like the video game aspect of it. At first, I was a bit thrown off because it just had this uncanny valley feel to me. Then I realized, oh, in a video game, it's supposed to look like this. It's some of the dust particles are supposed to look pixelated. It makes sense. So I after a while I did kind of dig it, and I really love the animation for this season. It looks really good. The animation for this season looks really good. A very visually appealing season. I like it. Character arcs, again, this is one of the negatives. The characters don't get a lot to do. This is really mostly Jay's season. He disappears for a few episodes, then he comes back. Then he finishes the game by fighting off Onagami. And if you look at the roster of characters in of the ninja to fight Onagami, it makes sense why they would pick Jay out of them. It just doesn't make sense why this would be his season, considering that he also doesn't get a lot of screen time. The only time he does get screen time is when it's down to the last three ninjas. So it doesn't make sense. I kind of wish that if you're gonna say it was his season, that you kind of make it a bit more noticeable. Otherwise, the character arcs again. I like this character Okino. He's honestly one of the best characters in this season. Maybe one of my favorite Ninjago characters. He just has such a nice story. Then we have Racer Seven, who is the dumbest. Even though she has an episode named after her, she's not even like the main character of that episode. Like her intentions, her dreams and such. Lloyd just tells her, "Oh, believe. Don't listen to your programming. Just believe." And I'm like, but it doesn't make what? So yeah, her ambitions just get solved like that. Well, Kino, we spent an entire episode on his backstory. Racer 7, we get like a couple of minutes. Boom. That's it. The episode just kind of ends with her. She realizes that she doesn't want to achieve her ambitions. She joins the ninja. She wins. Simple story like that. Whereas Okino, we got to see this guy go through grief. We got to see him through shock once he found out that he was in a game. I don't know. I just feel like the stories between these two are completely different. Whereas Okino's story is something unique and compelling, Racer Seven's story is just bland. She's just there to serve as a girl for Lloyd. If anything, I would be surprised if she's not his new girlfriend by season 13. I don't know, but to me, I feel like the Racer 7 arc could have been greatly improved upon. It was honestly very disappointing. After what we got from Okino, the Racer 7 arc was very disappointing. Um, the other ninja were okay. Obviously, the ones to get the spotlight are Jay, Nia, and Lloyd, because why not? Karen Cole kind of died relatively early on. Zane and Pixel don't do much, but they do find Milton Darius or whatever. For all of you who don't understand what I'm saying, I'm sorry. It's just I really don't give a crap about explaining the story. So poor you. But basically, a game is taking over Ninjago. The ninja go into the game to stop their avatar from coming out. Meanwhile, Zane and Pixel go look for the creator of the game to see if they can get answers. Boom, story done. The story is fairly simple and fairly nice. I like it. I like the ninja going into a video game, something new. We haven't tried this before. The closest thing we have done to this is Rebooted, where they went into the Digiverse, but that was like one episode. And Rebooted is like a completely different story as compared to this. So I kind of like the change in things. What else can I say that I like about this season? Character, story, animation. Yeah, I've pretty much summed my opinions about the season. There are a lot of cool moments from the season. Even though the season itself as a whole is not that great, the few moments in it, or even some of the episodes in this season alone, are some of the best episodes and scenes from the entirety of the Ninjago series. It's amazing how good some of this stuff is. For example, Okino's episode I mentioned is cool. The Red Dragon episode, we get to see Unagami for the first time. There's this one about the 5 billion race, whatever, the 5 billion track. It was over the minute it began. Not that it's bad or anything. The race just went so fast. It's so fast, so creative, so amazingly paced. It is honestly the best season of the best episode of this season, and maybe one of my best Ninjago seasons. I mean episodes. Even the final episode, the finale, was really cool. I loved seeing the fight between Jay and Unagami. That was really awesome. And I also liked but the episode itself was like kind of especially with the ending. But the beginning fight was awesome. I loved Jin and Unagami fighting, going through the see them through go through the city. Unagami was being a boss in his dragon. Like there's this one scene where he just goes through a building. It was really cool. That fight was really fun, really creative. I honestly really liked it. One of the highlights of the season. It's really good. So Jay and Unagami just fight. It's awesome. I just love how they fight one another. The dragons. Jay has his cyber dragon. Unagami has his own dragon. Both are being bosses in their own rights, and they kind of end the fight with a heartfelt moment. Speaking of which, the final episode. Now let me talk about why I feel like this season wasn't as great, especially the finale. It's just like with the final episode. It's just with the final episode when Unagami has Jay beat, Jay talks to him about how he doesn't have parents and how his parents abandoned him. And he's like, I don't know why, but I never went looking for them. And Unagami's like, oh, wait, you were abandoned. Yes. And again, it makes sense why Jay would be it would be the last ninja to face Unagami, or why Jay would be the one to face Unagami in the final battle. It actually makes sense. Jay was abandoned as a child. No other ninja was abandoned as a child, except unless you count Kai and Nia, but those guys were abandoned because their parents sacrificed for them. Jay was actually abandoned, and we don't know why. It could have been for selfish reasons, as we know. So, in all honesty, it kind of makes a lot of sense. And again, Jay says he's abandoned. Unagami says, wow, you abandoned me, I was abandoned too. And it honestly was a very touching moment. I like that slow, emotional moment between Jay and Unagami. I felt it was well paced and well done. In honesty, I really loved it. Then we have um then we get the actual ending where Unagami confronts Milton Dyer. It was over the minute it began, and in a bad way. Yes. So Milton says, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Unagami. Come with me. I'll take care of your programming." And then Unagami turns into like this 5-year-old kid. Like he starts glitching in and out, and then he turns into this 5-year-old kid, and it makes sense. He's Milton Dyer's son, and to Milton Dyer, he looks like a 5-year-old kid to him. If anything, Unagami was acting like a 5-year-old kid. He wasn't really a villain. He was just doing villainistic things to accomplish his goals. But it just seemed so quick. I know a lot of people are gonna say, yeah, it's because of what you said, or it's because of his programming that he turned so easily. But I just feel like Unagami turned too quickly, especially to Milton Dyer, the very same person who abandoned him. I feel like at the very least he'd be like pessimistic or a bit worried, but no, he is absolutely fine. He turns immediately. The episode does end very nicely with Unagami and Milton Dyer holding hands and walking into the sunset, father and son. But I don't know, I feel like the speech Milton Dyer gave Unagami was, again, a bit too cliche, and Unagami does turn a bit too quick. I kind of wish they worked on that a bit more, but it does end with both of them walking into a sunset trying to figure out their new lives, so that was good. But then the season kind of ends just like that. It just really ends all of a sudden because everyone who died in Prime Empire comes back to life and they're all freed. Then Jay meets up with the ninja. They hug. They say hello and bye bye to old, new and old friends. Then it just kind of ends like happily ever after. It just ends, and then I later find out that season 12 and 13 are actually chapter part one and part two. Sort of like what season 11 was, where it had part one, part two, but in one season. They're kind of doing the same thing with season 12 and 13, except season 12 is part one and season 13 is part two. So they're doing that chapter one, chapter two thing, except in two different seasons instead of it being in the same season like 11. So I feel like that's a better plan, but well, better paced. I kind of like them experimenting with this. But I don't know. For this season, it just sort of seemed to end. Like the ending just came suddenly. Not like it was rushed or anything. It just came suddenly out of nowhere. It just popped up. The ending just came like that. So the season just ends like that. It really just popped up out of nowhere and it just ends. Not like the beginning where we at least had shots at the beginning episode to ease us in. It just ends. Anyway, guys, those are my thoughts on Prime Empire. Otherwise, what I'll say about it is it's a really good season. I really like the season. It's honestly a huge step up above season 11. You can't even compare them. This season is really good. I feel like we're taking steps in the right direction, and I feel, in all honesty, we could improve upon this. I feel like if this is what's gonna be the second step after season 11, I hope we keep moving upwards. I hope this is an upward trend we're having. Now, you're probably wondering, where does this rank on your list of all the Ninjago seasons, worst to best? Where does season 12? So you're probably wondering, where would I place season 12 Prime Empire on my Ninjago list of all seasons ranked worst to best? Well, good thing I have my list here with me. No, I'm not ranking Day of the Departed. I'm not making that mistake again. Okay, Day of the Departed is a special. It's not a season. We all agree it's the worst thing to come out of Ninjago. And if it's at the bottom of my list, what's the point of putting it here? So, no, I'm not going to be putting Day of the Departed. I'm not going to be counting it on my list. And anyways, I have 12 slots, so it doesn't really matter. At number 12, we have Season 11, Secrets of the Forbidden Spijitzu, Fire and Ice chapters. You know why I hate that. Followed by Season 1, Rise of the Snakes, and the pilot season. Season 2, Legacy of the Green Ninja. At number 8, it's season 7, Hands of Time. Number 7, we have we have season 10, March of the Oni. 6, season 8, Sons of Gamadon. No, sorry. At 6, we have this one, season 12, Prime Empire. That's where I put it. It's at number 6 and right smack in the middle of the list. So, what do you know? The newest season we have is also the most average season we have, at least according to my list. It's right smack dab in the middle. Number 5, we have season 8, 4, rebooted, 3, tournament of elements, 2, possession. Wait, sorry, I'm counting this list wrong. 1, it's a number. Oh, let me just count it down once. 1, it's haunted. 2, it's skybound. 3, possession. 4, tournament of elements. 5, rebooted. 6, Sons of Gamadon. 7, Prime Empire. 8, Hands of Time. 9, Legacy of Green Ninja. 10, Rise of the Snakes and Pilot Season. And 11, Secrets of Business Speeches. So I feel like I'm missing one thing, aren't I? Oh, March of the Oni. I forgot about that, didn't I? My list is messed up. Anyway, on my list of 1 to 12 of where season 12 lands, it's on number 7, just in case you're wondering. So not the best season, also not the worst, mostly just a middle season, in all honesty. Anyways, guys, that's been my lit. Those have been my thoughts and my review on Prime Empire. Go watch it. It's actually a really good season, really entertaining. It's just way too quick and way too slow at the same time. Really doesn't know how to balance it. The dialogue of this season isn't bad, like the writing, but it does get very sloppily done, especially in the first half. The writing is not that great, but I think that's also due to the pacing. So again, guys, go watch the season. It's kind of worth your time. You really won't miss anything. Honestly, the worst thing and the biggest thing I can say about the season, like the worst thing I can say about this season, is the pacing. If you are not a fan of bad pacing, then I don't recommend the season to you. The season, its biggest flaw and its biggest problem is the pacing and a bit of the dialogue, but otherwise it's kind of entertaining and you'll get interested beginning to end. It's just a bit too fast and a bit too slow at places. The pacing is not great. Anyway, guys, I've been Captain Phoenix. These are my thoughts on the newest season of Ninjago, season 12, Prime Empire. Mad respects to Tana Fishies. He does his videos so well, especially in this nice slideshow manner. Mad respects to him. Go check out his channel, subscribe. He's a huge Ninjago fan, bigger than me. And all in all, I've been me, guys. I've been Captain Phoenix. Thank you so very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And without further ado, I have been Captain Phoenix, and I will see you in another universe.